Welcome, YouTube. Pass the prop back here yet again. Today is Tuesday. We got a 15-game slate. Really good action here for today. Joined by my guy, Stu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Happy to be back. I'm finally, back in my own home. So that was nice. Out of town for a little bit. I love Michigan. It's a great state. I was up there for my grandmother's 90th birthday. Had the whole family together, so that was fun. Kind of zoned out completely from sports for the weekend, but good to be back home and jumping right back into it.
Yeah, no, good weekend of sports. MLB starting to really roll right now, and I obviously love it, dude. This is the grind where everybody kind of stops too.
Yeah.
This week, I feel like we're going to see a lot of guys who are in NBA now think they'll do baseball. They're going to do it for a week. They're going to hate it because it's so fucking – it's a grind, man. It's different than every other sport. So we'll probably see a few of those guys jump into it, and then they'll be like, oh, shit, yeah, this is why I don't do this long term because this shit is tough, man. And that just – I'm tooting our own horn a little bit here with how well we've been doing on the show because, like, this shit don't happen very much for real. Like, it's like – watch enough guys, watch enough content myself to kind of know what we're doing right now. So we're kind of cooking. So let's get a quick recap in here. I know this is a week ago, and we'll get this going.
Yeah, I started us off with an L right here. One hit. I don't know if you remember, the real stinger was how I talked about how he wasn't going to get pinch hit for, and then he got fucking pinch hit for. Yeah. I mean, that part hurt, but it is what it is. One hit, didn't get the job done, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I guess this one was hard too, man. This one was tough. Christopher Sanchez recorded the win. Had to finish the full 8. He had to go 8 innings to get this win. He earned it, shit, man. He's a fucking dog. I'm very heavily reliant on the Philadelphia Phillies for my fantasy team because I roll with him and Luzardo as my 2 and 3 behind Logan Gilbert, and they've been great. Sanchez was absolutely spectacular. Gave up 1 run early in the game, and I mean, gets the job done. The Phillies just could not hit Edward Cabrera. He didn't mind walking 4 or 5 dudes. We said that, right? I mean, Sanchez. I'm pretty sure the Phillies got out hit in that game. And they still won because they, a lot of free passes, and Sanchez was phenomenal keeping the ball in the zone. So we do have another positive show. And we're closing in on that 20 units. I know through I've been kind of posting my YouTube play of the day with these as well, and we're starting to really start stacking them up and feeling really good about where we're at. I feel, like I said, there's not really other shows grinding every day throughout the MLB season to put out stuff out here for some content. So closing in on 20, Stu. Maybe today's the day.
Yeah, I hope so. It's always a hard number to get over, but we got a lot of time left in the season. It's not even fucking halfway through, and we're already, pretty much doing as well as we did in NBA, And I know we didn't do that much NBA either. It was kind of short there as well, but it feels good, and I'm excited to keep it going. Like you said, it's kind of that time of year where you see a lot of people jump in. They go, yeah, toss a couple home run parlays in, and then realize, oh, maybe this is a little bit harder than I thought it was, So we're here every day. We're going to keep it going. I'm excited to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, it's a great slate today, too, by the way. I mean, this is a really nice slate. I mean, we got good arms. We got shit arms, and that's what we want to see. So, Stu, I'll kick it over to you. Game of the day. Where are we looking? We got pretty much anything you could ask for. What one's catching your eye here?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned a second ago I was just in Michigan, and I was watching those Tigers games, and that Tigers-Rays series was great. That was the only thing I really did catch. A lot of offense from both sides. The Rays are cooking right now, but now we got Athletics Tigers. We got Sevy versus Skubal. For me, I mean, that's a phenomenal matchup right there. I kind of like the under in that one, even though it's already pretty low at 7.5. You obviously trust Skubal to take care of business, but I think Sevy has one of those really solid 7 innings. He's hit or miss. I think this is probably going to be one of those good games. So I'm excited to tune into that one. But like you said, we got a killer slate, and I love when Washington is on the West Coast because that means I can catch a 7 o'clock game and then catch the later one against the Padres as well. James Wood is cooking right now, and I haven't been on the mic in a little bit. I had to come in here and talk about it. Guy's fucking 22 homers. I mean, what a trade. What a trade. Gore, Abrams, and Wood. I mean, insane. Absolutely insane. It's fun to watch these guys keep cooking, especially against, the organization that we grabbed him from. So definitely excited for that as well. Had to get a little Nats propaganda in there.
Yeah, dude, I'm hoping CJ Abrams keeps sucking. I need him to suck this series because I'm playing him in fantasy. But I do have Nate Lowe. Shout out Nate Lowe. Finally waking back up. One of these, I'm like, fucker. I sat that fucker in my utility forever and it's done nothing. And now the dudes this last week, I've been just cautiously rolling with them and we get to it. So for me, it's the lefty matchup, man. I don't think there's a question about it. It's going to be Framber versus Ranger. Those are the two guys I'm going with. I really enjoy watching Framber Valdez pitch, man. I really do. My biggest thing is the things that bother me about Framber is, when things don't go right, he's very emotional. Like he kind of like goes with how the game is going. I have a feeling that could be tough here, which is the reason why I can't really bet the under, even though I want to. So I don't think I'm going to have a bet in that game. It's going to be a really fun game to watch. I just hate these slates where the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, or all these guys are playing in Coors because it's almost an impossible slate to play DFS in because it's just like, dude, those guys are going to be so chalk and facing German Marquez, like, god damn, that's going to be so. Lastly, Crochet gets to face the Angels today. Obviously, that's going to be a big one. I'm sure that'll be the most bet spot of the night, and I'm sure it's well-deserved, right? And that's why, like, you play DFS, you got to pick one. Are you going to take Crochet or are you going to play the Dodgers? Because it's like there's really no way to play them both because these prices are crazy. So let's take a look at the chat here, and we'll get it going for you guys. 25 of you guys in here at our little impromptu time here on our Monday, or what is it, Tuesday afternoon. Let's take a look. We got Tyrone in the chat. Appreciate you popping in here, my guy. No, dude, I actually did cash. I jumped up. I made an extra $50 on one of my DFS lineups just because Fleetwood choked and I had Keegan and Henley. And so I jumped from him getting the third to the second place and from second to first. Huge jump for me. I ended up going up like $50 in DFS. That's a lot for a couple spots. So ended up on that one putt from Fleetwood sucking. Ended up pushing me to be like I think it was like 8x what I put in. And it wasn't a big entry for me. I just threw like a 10 entries in those smaller ones. But hey, win's a win and we'll take it. But man, that was brutal.
Yeah, it was a tough watch for Fleetwood too. One of those where you just kind of you feel for the guy a little bit, missing. Yeah, I don't know. The guy he's top 10 every fucking tournament, or at least the big ones, and can't get a win. So unfortunate, but that was a fun watch, honestly, as well. Back-to-back great golf weeks.
Yes, sir. And we got another decent one this week with Rocket Mortgage. Should be a fun one out in Detroit. You could have been out there, Stu. You could have stayed out there for the week, but we got Miles back in the chat here. Tyrone, yeah, dude, we got to. We got to just continue to keep putting it out. Yeah, dude. We talked about this on the last show, the LSU one. Congrats. I know T was on LSU. I was on Arkansas. I'm sure I didn't check, but I'm sure that left fielders in the transfer portal, probably somewhere in California or West Coast, and probably never coming back around there. But loving Devers and Austin Riley tonight for total bases and home runs. I just hate betting anyone in San Francisco. I just can't. I hate that park. I can never bet on a home run in San Francisco. I don't know if you feel the same way, Stu, but it's tough for me to bet anyone in Miami or in San Francisco to hit a home run, just because you got to smoke that thing. Dude.
So I do agree, but this is Atlanta versus the Mets today. That series just ended, I believe. I'm pretty sure.
No, Devers.
Oh, I was looking at the Riley part. Gotcha. Sorry, I was looking at
Oh,
the
yeah,
Dude,
I don't know. You were really confusing me there, bro. I'm like, Evers?
Yeah, my bad. I only looked at the second part. I didn't even look at Devers. No, I agree with you. I kind of like Devers as well, but I bet doubles in that ballpark, 100% with you. And it's actually an undervalued market because they adjust to bad pitchers, the homer, but people don't really bet doubles. So sorry, yeah, I only read the second part, but I'm with you. I like the double for Devers, and I actually do like the homer for Riley in the second part.
Yeah, I think Montas is on there. The only reason I don't like Riley, at least early, is because Montas is a walk machine, bro. If I could, I'd bet Matt Olson walk. I'd bet Austin Riley walk. Like I would bet those if I have the chance. I probably won't. I'm gonna have a lot of action today already, so I don't want to overexpose myself here. Hey, appreciate it, Thomas. I know we've been feeling pretty good here on these last couple shows. I think we've been cooking, so that's good. Happy you guys are here to cash here. Screwball, Rodon, 6Ks each, minus 130. See, I don't hate that. My biggest thing here is Rodon has to pitch in Cincy, bro. Like, I think the strikeouts is definitely the way to go, but I can't bet the Yankees, dude. I can't. When you play in that ballpark, man, it's a different ball game. I know that they play in a small diamond already out in Yankee Stadium, but you play in Cincinnati, man, that ball is just crazy, dude. It's hot here. I'm sure it's hot there too, so tough.
Yeah, the other thing I was gonna say, the heat, especially when it's the first time of the year that we're crossing 100 and it's kind of brutal. I get a little scared of these high end props, honestly. Like I'll probably be a little bit more on the batter side than the pitcher side, just as there's that acclimation period, because it's freaking brutal on the East Coast. I know Deuce in the chat, he said it's 104 where he's at in New York right now. It's 99 where I'm at in DC. Like East Coast is getting crushed right now with and I think even the Midwest as well. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hot. It's just it just is. We're seeing a little more rain now. It's starting to hit some rain, and now it's like just getting super humid.
Yeah, so good conditions for the ball to go out the park, you know.
Yeah, so we're looking through here. San Francisco much better on a clear day. San Francisco is tough, but I like San Diego bats. Yeah, no, isn't San Diego's in San Diego, right? They're facing.
Yeah, they're on the West
Trevor
Coast.
Williams.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm only talking about San Francisco in terms of the park. That's all. Not anything to do with that. Yeah, dude. I mean, I can't believe he's up in the league right now again. I'm sure he's just in there to eat up innings. It's just the Mets have a good bullpen. I know they've been kind of shitty lately just because their team's kind of sucking right now. Outside of Soto, obviously. Soto's just absolutely fucking raking everything. But that's my only issue with these games is like, do I expect Montas to get through a lineup twice? Probably not. Like, so then it's like now you have to eat 5-6 innings with 100-mile-an-hour flamethrowers and dudes who throw gas who are in there for one inning to just throw gas and get out. You know, so it's like that's where those kind of bother me. Where it's like I don't know how deep he's going to get in the game. If anybody could take a look and see if Frankie Montas out prop. I would really like to see what that's at. Even if they offer it, I can't imagine they offer it, but.
I would guess no, but I can check real quick. Oh, they 14.5. It actually is up.
Wow. Is up. I feel like I'd have to under that for sure. I was at the Giants Sox game on Sunday. Do not mix alcohol, helmet, nachos, and ice cream. Dude, you could probably get away with 2. But if you're gonna go booze and ice cream, bro, that stomach is gonna just feel it, dude. So I feel you have to get the helmet nachos, but it's like it depends. If you got kids, bro, then it's booze and the nachos, right? It's just the booze and the nachos. You got to have a couple beers, you know, when you're having to pretty much watch the kids and not the game. But you're a bold man going all 3. I mean, that's a move for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I respect eating that many things out of a helmet. You know that you gotta go for it sometimes. Got to go for it.
Yeah, see, so this is kind of segues here because we got Sammy popping in here. I want to bet Crochet, but to only get plus 110 on 9 strikeouts is absurd. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
And this morning it was like it's just gonna keep getting bet. Like everybody knows that the Angels can't hit lefties. They strike out a ton, but like the Angels are so weird, man. They are so bipolar. Like I could see Crochet giving up 4 nukes. like that's very high in the probability of happening here. What Crochet does is the Angels get in there, dude, and they just take absolute hacks. So you gotta just be out of the middle of the plate. And Crochet does have a little bit of walk issues. It's just 9 strikeouts. That's going to be like a 60%. That's going to be almost like probably 60% of his outs coming from the strikeout, which definitely can't happen. The dude's stuff is disgusting, but I'm just saying, like, that's a tough number for me to pay for that many Ks. That's a lot of Ks.
Yeah, and it's almost too hard to buy down when it's that high as like the base number as well, because you don't really want to be paying heavy juice for like 7 or 8 strikeouts. It kind of feels a little worse there, but definitely think he should have a good outing.
All right, so you ready? Ready to break this down?
Ready to go.
All right, I'll kick it to you first.
Sounds good. We're going over the Giants. We just talked about Devers for a second, but I'm going to my favorite Giant. We got Heliot Ramos over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 130 over on DraftKings, taking on Cal Quantrill tonight, former friend of the show, former thumbnail of the show for, good.
I don't want to know many times I fucking bet on Cal Quantrill. Way too much.
I mean, there were a lot of good times, though. It's mostly good times. And yeah, I mean, he's still kind of the same guy, hit or miss here and there, but looking at it, 5.6 ERA 5.68 ERA. When you go look at the expected ERA among qualified pitchers, it's the 6th worst in the MLB. So it's not like we're really expecting a lot of regression. What really jumped out to me was looking at the reverse splits are pretty brutal for Cal so far this year against right-handed pitching. 375 batting average, 654 slugging, 2 home runs per 9, 12% strikeout rate, and then only a 3% walk rate as the cherry on top. So not only are we not striking guys out, but we're also not giving away free passes, which to me, I mean, obviously in these batter markets, the walks can be helpful for the runs scored, but you much prefer they get on base with a hit right there. They give you the opportunity to cash it all in one at bat. Ramos has been awesome. I mean, especially when you look at like recent form over the last month, 322 batting average, 12% barrel rate, 164 WRC plus. What I like about Ramos the most, if you follow me, we played this guy a decent amount last year. And then even so far early this year, he was kind of just like a lefty crusher. Like that was really the kind of main reason we target him essentially is when he's going up against like a below average left-handed pitcher, but the splits have really evened out so far this year. He's hitting pretty much the same against both sides of the plate. Even in this recent wave as well, where he's been playing good ball, like it's coming against both sides of the plate. And now you obviously throw in a guy like Devers to the top of that order is extremely nice. You have to take multiple people seriously at the top of this lineup, especially with my guy Lee, who was our early season king, struggling right now. He's been bumped a little bit farther back in the lineup, trying to get back on pace. When you look at the splits, though, obviously the batter versus pitcher like numbers, you don't really have any past history right there, but he's a fastball guy, Cal. You're going to see a couple different variations of it. And just overall, Ramos has been extremely consistent against like every pitch out there, like especially when you look at like the cutter, sinker, fastball combo. We're over 280 average. We're over 500 slug against all those pitches. My only problem is I kind of do like him to hit a homer, but like you said earlier, like I can't really play that in this ballpark. So I think I will probably toss a couple bucks on the double as well. The barrel rate's really good recently. The hard contact rate is really good. I even did think about going to total bases as well at like plus 115-ish, just because I like that we're not going to see too many like walks on the other side. I like that there's going to be chances over the plate. And that does kind of make total bases a little bit more appealing to me. But just with honestly Devers up at the top of that lineup now as well, with a little bit more just general talent, I think the fact that this is playable at minus 130 is like really nice. And if it was maybe minus 150, that's when I'd pivot to the total bases, something crazier like that. But I think this is a very fair number considering the matchup. And Ramos has been extremely good to me. So these guys are scrappy. The Giants score runs. Ramos is right in the heart of that order. And we're going 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs tonight.
Awesome. I will be playing an under, actually, yet again here to kind of mix things up. I know we used to be the over show, but now MLB, I've been doing a lot more unders, and I've been doing a lot more of these like awkward unders here, and that's going to be these like really low numbers. I just cashed in a couple days ago on Savali under 3.5.
Saw that. Yeah.
I ended up yeah, dude. It's just like books have a hard time pricing anything like lower than this, right? And I saw Adrian Hauser, and I did it. I had to because it was like plus 160 on under 2.5. He ended up with like 4, but that's besides the point. But it's really hard. It's really hard to strike out the Toronto Blue Jays, and I think this number should be 2.5. It should be 2.5 plus 120, because I take good pitchers, good strikeout pitchers under 3.5 against the Blue Jays, even 4.5. Now I'm going Logan Allen here. Logan Allen right now has a 16% K rate against lefties, a 17% K rate against righties. What are we doing here? How am I getting plus money against the Blue Jays, who are striking out an 18% clip right now as a team against left-handed pitching? So now we're getting 18% there, 18% there, and now we have a guy here who just does not induce swing and miss, right? He has, his expected ERA is almost 5, right? His chase percentage is under 25%, which is bottom 10%. His whiff rate is 19%. His strikeout rate is 17%, right? All these are blue, obviously, if you know what I'm referring to. That's Baseball Savant on those. But your highest whiff pitch being the changeup, right? You're only using that against righties, right? And mind you, we have a team who just absolutely smokes fastballs. And then you're going to be a guy here who's throwing his four seam at a 28% clip. His sweeper only has a 21% whiff rate. I just have a really hard time seeing him get deep in this game, first off. I also have a hard time seeing who's going to strike out, right? Ernie Clement, sub 20% strikeout rate. Bichette has been really, really good at putting the ball in play now. Kirk has been on a heater as well. Vladdy obviously swings for the fences, but he does shorten up with 2 strikes. He does a lot better with 2 strikes than he has in the past. My thing, too, is Logan Allen just, like I said, doesn't strike out lefties. Like, you might get 1 or 2 lefties in this lineup, and now you're going to go up against probably, I would say 7 righties. And against righties, he has a 5.94 xFIP, and I have a really hard time seeing him strike out really any of these guys. At home, he's still, like, you'd think, okay, maybe at home he has a better strikeout rate. Yeah, he does have a better strikeout rate. 18.5 versus 16 on the road. Like, these numbers are ridiculous, guys. Like, he just doesn't induce a swing and misses. He's trying to get deep in this game. Throw a ball on the ground. Let's get some roll balls. He does not get hit hard, which is something that I think is pretty important. So, like, just because I'm telling you to take the under Ks does not mean I want you to go take home runs against this guy, because his hard hit rate is sub 33%, which is fantastic. So, doesn't get hit hard, keeps the ball in the park, does a very good job of that. But I do not see him striking out 4 of these dudes. Like, they have a very good team that is meant to put the ball in play, and they've been very, very good at it. And just those guys in the middle of this lineup that you don't hear much from, like Addison Barger, right? Or Ernie Clement, like I said before, like, just guys that get in there and they don't strike out. And they do a very, very good job at what their team identity is, which is putting the ball in play and making things happen, running around. So sign me up. Logan Allen under 3.5 Ks plus 100. I'm going to be my play of the day.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that I honestly feel like maybe I should start taking every pitcher under Ks against.
Some of the Padres, every time I see a lefty, is an auto bet.
Yeah. And especially it feels even better once again at plus money. For me, you kind of touched on it. And what I like about an under, like the kind of gold seal for me, is when the pitcher can have like a good or relatively okay outing and still kind of go under your number. Like when your game is, like all about kind of getting soft contact, avoiding the barrels, but you're not a strikeout guy, he can still have a somewhat okay outing, and still go under this number. As kind of weird as that is to say. And I think that lines up here as well. Love getting that plus money. Definitely will be tailing with Allen right here. Let's go.
Awesome. Yeah, it's just 18%, and you're going to give me a number that he probably is going to get against a guy with like a 23% strikeout rate, right? So, like I said, I think the books. We talk about it with football, right? It's just like it's usually the other way around, though. Like they can't price a guy over 100, right? Or else they feel like, oh shit, we're going to get hammered on it. I don't think they can price these low enough to where it probably should be. So I like I said, hope it should have been at 2.5. But let's get a quick recap here. We'll take a look and see if we got any other questions in the chat.
Sounds good. We got Heliot Ramos over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, -130 over on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Beautiful. I'll be on Logan Allen under 3.5 Ks at +100. Rolling here today. Let's take a look at the chat. What do we think about Tyler Anderson today? Ooh, wow. Not the guy I was expecting to want to talk about here. I mean, do you have anything, Stu, or do you want me
Well, my one thing is, I mean, he's been a little bit underwhelming, but he's a hit or miss guy. He's kind of inconsistent. Like, he's always one that can pull out one of those random, really good games. I was really thinking about Rest Snyder, run scored, being my show play as well. It's plus money right now. He's going to be likely like lead off in the order. They've been doing that recently against lefties, and he's just a lefty killer. Anderson walks guys. He walks a decent amount as well. Like, that was the one thing that stuck out to me in that matchup. But outside of that, the Red Sox lineup is kind of, I don't know, like with the post Devers is kind of ugly, you know. So I didn't get super deep into it besides just the Rest Snyder look right there.
Okay. I just have a really hard time, seeing him do that well. I feel like the best way he does well is if we get 7 100-mile-an-hour exit velo balls that just get caught or spots today. Because just looking at the Red Sox as a team, mind you, this is as a team has a 117 WRC plus against left-handed pitching. And the reason that is because they literally have dudes that are only in there to hit lefties. Like you mentioned Ref Snyder, right? Romy Gonzalez, very good guy in the middle of that lineup who has done very, very well in his role. And he knows his role, bro. It's to hit lefties, right? Because you have good left-handed bats like Wilyer Abreu, right? Wilyer Abreu is fucking good against right-handed pitching. Doesn't even play really against lefties. So that's my biggest thing here with the Red Sox is they do like have multiple platoon guys that remind me of the Twins, but they're better, right? So it's tough. It's tough to really see for me at least a way that I would want to back Tyler Anderson here, especially against Crochet in any way, shape, or form. So we got a couple other spots here. I'll get to Sammy's thing about dingers here in a sec. Favorite stacks RBI spots today. Now you're speaking my language, bro. Kick it over to you, Stu, for RBIs if you have any.
For me, the one I'll mention that sticks out is kind of obvious. It's Padres against Trevor Williams. Their hits, runs, RBIs and shit are kind of priced in a way that it's very hard to play, but you obviously can get some good plus money on the RBI. It's even better on like the 2+ RBI kind of markets. So someone mentioned it earlier, but Jackson Merrill obviously is a guy that would stick out. Machado as well. And even if you want to get a little bit deeper into that lineup, maybe like a Sheets or something like that. But yeah, I definitely think fading Trevor Williams whenever I can is definitely something I'm interested in. But I know you're obviously the big DFS guy. If you got any cores you're looking at or firing up today.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this is a tough slate because the Dodgers are on it in Coors Field.
Yeah,
I mean, it just kind of ruins everything. Like, obviously, I'm not going to be a guy to come in here and say, "Hey, go play the $7,000 Shohei Ohtani." Like, can't really do that. Like, it's when you have as good of pitching as we see on this slate, it makes it really, really tough. So, like, sure, you could go there. I think that they'll probably all grade out extremely, extremely well. I don't mind playing a few of those Nationals tonight either at cheap price point against, I think it's Bergert or however you say it, because another righty on the bump, and I can get, Nathaniel Lowe and Wood, decent price points. I'm looking at FanDuel right now just because I've been playing a little bit more on there on these bigger slates. I don't mind those guys. I also really like the Cubs. I think they're going to be underlooked today, dude. I think the Cubs are a team I would want to back here today. I'm surprised that their team total is 4.5 at +100. I thought it'd be a little bit more juice there. McGreevy is not good. Like, it's not good. And now you're in St. Louis, so you get the automatic 9th inning at bats. Tyone's been really good. So if we get him and they get a lead there, right, and then I get to see that back end of that shit bullpen, dude, I kind of like the Cubs. I think the Cubs are going to be a spot that I go to today in there. And like I said, I mean, it just to obviously stay away from the Dodgers. I might maybe just use the Nationals as like a sprinkle spot to like one or two mans, where I'm trying to save some salary because like still again Nate Lowe's sub 3K on FanDuel right now. Like that's something that I like. I like those guys that I can fill into a spot that I like as a team, but obviously when we're expecting runs from them, there's certain guys you want to kind of go to, and especially on FanDuel where you're like 3.5 points for an RBI, like 3.2 for a run scored, like those are huge. They're only 2 on DK, which is why those scores get so much lower. But I think that those would be my teams that I would definitely look into if you're looking at those. So yeah.
And one more thing I'll say too, I actually might even toss a couple bucks on low RBI now too, just because I just look, James Wood is like minus 130 to walk today, in addition to everything else. Like, I'm kind of worried that after that, game yesterday, he's been on a heater coming in. Like, I could definitely see at least one walk. And he's a patient guy as well. And obviously having, the guy behind him that they then have to pitch to, who's also on his own little kind of mini heater, is definitely a good spot. And the price is going to be like 3 times better. So good call on that one right there. I'll probably toss a couple bucks in the betting side as well.
Yeah, no, definitely a good spot here. Hey, Jake, it's been a minute, man. Hope all is going well. Appreciate you dropping the kind words. Yeah, throw them in your round robin. I don't know what PCA's numbers would be. But yeah, when that Cubs lineup they're expensive, man. And that's I want to be different. I don't want to be on the Dodgers today. Like, if you're playing cash game or if you're playing like a single entry, sure. But like if you're playing those big boys, what's the point of holding hands with 50% of people? Like, Shohei Ohtani is like 5,400 on FanDuel. Like, it's almost $1,000 more than Judge. Like, that's crazy to me. Just because you get the Coors Field and I get it, but Ohtani's been kind of shit lately. A lot of strikeouts lately, so I'm not expecting him to suck against the Rockies because Rockies pitching stinks. But all right, so you got any long shots today? Is there anything sticking out there for you at all as we move forward into tonight?
Yeah, I mean, there's honestly a couple good spots. I think today with the heat and stuff, I'm gonna probably get to like 4 or 5 homers, honestly, by the end of the day and stuff, just because I think we're in kind of good conditions for that. We talked about a little bit with the chalk, and I mentioned Ramos double. I'll probably play another Giants double as well. But for the home run market, someone in the chat said it's a little bit chalk. I don't care. I played Austin Riley at plus 330 tonight. Obviously, Montas. The stat that's been going around is like 8 bombs or something like that in his limited minor league action already. What really sticks out to me though is like I like Riley against very specific kind of like pitching profiles. And when you look at the breakdown, Montas is obviously a guy that lives on a couple different kind of fastballs and then the split finger, right? But we're going like fastball, sinker, cutter, and split. Those are his top 4 pitches. When you look at Austin Riley, those are the exact kind of guys that I'm looking to target him against, and those are by far his best like pitch splits. Like when you look at guys that are super heavy on the off speed, he's hitting 179 against the curve, 196 against the slider. Like we're really struggling there, but fastball, sinker, and splitter as well are like the majority of where his power are coming from this year, catching just some of those hanging pitches. His advanced stat profile still shows he's hitting the ball hard as hell when he does make contact. And I think he's going to get a couple chances too, because obviously when you're a sinker cutter, throwing those pitches, you're going to give the guy some chances. And we just need him to hang one tonight, like Austin Riley for a homer. When he makes contact, he goes very far. He's been very good to me over the years. Little chalk, for a slightly better price, but still going with Austin Riley tonight.
All right. I think I'm going to find one here because we don't have the early slate, so it's going to be nice for me to play my highest scoring team. I'm going to have 2. I'm going to play 0.2 units on each. I'm going to play on the Cubs, and I'm going to play on the Red Sox. I'll kind of tell you why. So let's start with the Red Sox. I don't know if they're going to do it all off Tyler Alexander, or Tyler Anderson, why I say Alexander, whatever. But I think that the Red Sox, obviously, when you get to see Crochet on the bump, you're expecting them to be winning through the first 5, right? Then you get to mess around with a fucking shit bullpen. I mean, the Angels are the 3rd worst bullpen. They have a 5.2 ERA. So now you're expecting them to get at least 4 innings out of those guys. So I'm getting that. Plus the Red Sox smoke lefties. If they do decide to bring those righties or bring in righty pitchers, you have all those guys with the platoon advantage on the bench. I think this is one of those games that you just kind of see them kind of explode a little bit. right? I mean, last night turned into a shit show too, where Walker Buehler was just the worst pitcher in human history and blew it all up. But that game just screams runs to me for the Red Sox, obviously not for Angels against Crochet, but I think we can get really good. I think this could be one of those games where they're blowing them out so bad we see a position player, right? That could be this game, right? But again, you go down the list and you're like, I also could see the Angels scoring a shit ton on homers, right? So like that's where it kind of gets you in that middle spot. That's why I'm only playing the Red Sox today on this market, right? For a long shot market. So I'm not trying to mess around with minus 170 or minus whatever it is for them to win. Going over to the Cubs, like I said, Tyone's been good, so maybe we get the back end of the bullpen there. But also, it should be hot too in St. Louis. That ball should be flying there. McGreevy, I haven't been super impressed with. I know St. Louis on the season has been kind of, middle of the pack in terms of bullpen, 3.91. They have a really bad whip at like 135 as well. But, man, dude, this Cubs team is just loaded, bro. And it's like one time a week they just have this huge explosion game, right? And this kind of feels like that game for me. McGreevy obviously is not really that well known. I think he's like the number 10 or 11 prospect for him. And I believe, if I remember correctly, he hasn't started all of his games. I think he started 2 of them. He's only had 2 starts. Expected ERA a whole run higher. So always like to see that. And also, I just don't see him getting very deep into this game as well. But, his fastball is 93, right? I mean, he throws at 25% of the time. He's just a 4-seam sinker guy. If you're going to give me a guy who's not getting a ton of swing and miss, right, in these spots, sign me up, dude. I'll take the Cubs. I'll roll with some talent. I'll roll with the Tucker, Suzuki, Peter Goat Armstrong, bro. I'll take that all day. I think that this is a team I definitely want to back on talent here. And the Dodgers being 7-1 because they're in Coors, fuck that. I ain't betting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, honestly, you just showed me Cubs at 17-1. I'm kind of interested just with the offensive talent. Like I'm pretty much ready to click the button. But then you go and it's not even really like a high end pitcher or anything you're like super scared of. Definitely like that spot right there. And the good side of that Cardinals bullpen is scary. But if you're down 3-0 or something, you're not gonna get the A side. You know what I mean? You're not getting the late inning guys. So definitely like these looks. And I mean, You've earned my trust in this fucking market. I'm hyped whenever I see these. You've been killing it by pretty much just acknowledging when a favorite has gone too far. You know what I mean? And they make it a terrible price for the favorite because it's the one they know people are going to look at first and want to attack, but that's going to open up market or opportunities downstream as well for these other guys. So definitely like the looks. And yeah, 17-18-1. I mean, you really, only have to put like $5 on it to feel pretty good in the end. So definitely like the spots.
Awesome. Let's look at these again. We got Austin Riley for you. I'll be rolling there. If you want the recap of everything, it was about 5 minutes ago as well. Stu, anything for you here before we head out? About 40 minutes in on this show. Obviously, a big slate kind of goes a little longer.
Yeah, I don't want to make it go too much longer, but you're the prospect guy. What are we thinking about Chase Burns before we get out of here? I figured I had to ask you against the freaking Yankees. Not much of a ramp-up start. They're kind of throwing him to the Wolves here, but are you interested in betting or just real world? Like, are you a fan? I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, he's good, man. I mean, he's obviously got – I mean, you look at Velo, he's a 65 rate fastball. I know his slider is absolutely wipeout. My biggest thing is, like, he's a guy from, Wake Forest. He's really highly renowned that way. It's just, you're throwing in Cincinnati against the Yankees, bro. Like that. Like,
brutal.
It's the worst spot. Like, you're telling me you couldn't wait a week and just put him up against some bums? Like,
brutal.
Fuck, dude. It sucks because obviously I think he's really, really good. Upper 90s, absolute hammer. He can touch 101, 102 when needed. I mean, he ain't no Mizorowski. I'll tell you that. But, I mean, I think it was him, Rhett Lauer. I remember him from Wake Forest. Like, that was a good team. He's going to be a stud. I just don't. I don't know why they're doing this at this time. We couldn't have just played him last week and had him skip this start. Like, but I guess we'll see what he's got right away.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I agree. I was curious. I don't know about his like command, but I love guys for walks in their debut, especially when you got like guys like Aaron Judge on the other side. It's juiced as hell. So parlay piece 1.5. I have to do more research, but I assume I'll like that. I don't know. Does he have good control? Do you know off the top of your head? I have no clue.
I'm looking right now.
Young guys
they have
still
it, the
100.
control is rated at a 50, so that's like it's not bad.
Gotcha. I'm just saying, young guys that throw 100 miles an hour in their debut, it leads to not a lot of control sometimes. That's kind of common sense, you know? So I got to do a little bit more digging into that, but I assume I'll be getting to his walks as like a parlay piece as well, especially when you got, like I said, Judge and the Yankees on the other side. They walk a shit ton anyway. So that's one we didn't mention at the top, but I got to tune into at least the first couple innings just to kind of, be in the know, because obviously huge prospect and getting thrown right into the Wolves immediately. So we'll see how that goes, but excited for it.
Yeah, definitely probably a ladder either way, right? Walks or strikeouts. I think either one would be fine. So, all right, guys, we are out of here. We'll probably be back tomorrow. I got to look at the slate for tomorrow. We'll figure that out. But assuming we're back tomorrow, ready to get after it. If you guys could hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll be back. We'll leave normal time. I'll take a look if we have to do it earlier or not. But yeah, Stu, anything else from you before we get out?
Nope. Appreciate everyone tuning in, and yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
All right, hit that like button, guys, on your way out, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Have a good one, guys, and best of luck.